there are issues, if this is not going forward, there are still issues that we will and need to address. We know that the rental inspection program is an important one for our community, regardless of what rental units we're talking about. We've heard about upkeep and landlord issues. And I think there are landlord issues. Sometimes we hear them referred to as renters or tenant issues, but I think they're mostly landlord issues. And so I think we need to address those a little more thoroughly. But again, at this time, I'm not in favor of moving forward with this ordinance. Thank you.
I don't think that, I think we've learned a lot and learned a lot of perspectives. I think we have bigger fish to fry in the city, and so I'm prepared to move on. I do want to thank everyone on both sides of the issue, and of course there was more than one side. It was a complicated issue, but just appreciate everyone, some who are here, some who are not. Everyone's committed to the city. I feel that's genuinely true. I think that there were moments where people didn't trust what people were saying, or didn't, there was a little bitterness, but we need to keep coming together to address the city's problems, and we do have problems, and they've been discussed a lot today, but let's get this energy going around things that we can agree about and build consensus on and really move the needle forward, all right? So stay tuned. Thank you.
Actually, all of us sitting around here on this horseshoe are all fortunate enough to afford a single-family home. One of the reasons that I've been pushing for this for so long is partly for families and being able to live in a multi-generational situation, aging in place, taking care of adult children, etc., as Councilor Devine mentioned. But it's also about providing more opportunities for residents of all walks of life. And that's really what this has been about for me. There is no financial agenda. There is no hidden agenda of any kind. It is just about opportunities and our ability to open the doors for more people to enjoy the lifestyle that we all get to enjoy today. I don't believe that more people will crush that lifestyle. I simply don't. And I will disagree with that every moment of every day for the rest of my life. I don't care if you bring in 2 people who need to live in an ADU. I don't care if that family who used to live in a house gets replaced by another family with 5 children. That is not going to degrade our quality of life. It simply will not. I deeply hope that this city can open its doors to as many people as it possibly can, because we have something special here. And I feel it is our responsibility to share that with others, because that love can only grow. It is not a simple pie that once a certain number of slices are taken, it's gone. It is something that grows over time. Fredericksburg is a city that has grown over time, and it's grown in remarkable ways, and it will continue to grow in remarkable ways. And I look forward to being a part of that continued growth, wherever that path happens to lead. And I do hope that down the line we are able to take up this issue again if it does fail tonight, or that future councils are able to come to a decision that does allow for more people to enjoy the quality of life that we have here in the city of Fredericksburg.
If you look at the cost of going into assisted living or a nursing home, it's shockingly expensive. I believe nationwide the average cost of an assisted living facility is about $68,000. And I have friends and clients who have spent much more than that here in the Fredericksburg area. The idea that you can put a kitchenette in your house and bring your elderly mother or father in to live with you and take care of them for an investment of $20,000, $30,000 and save that kind of money that you would otherwise spend on assisted living or a nursing home means there's more assets to pass on to the next generation. This ordinance actually will promote home ownership through successive generations. That's the main reason I support it. You know, when we grow up, we learn how to drive a car, we learn how to hopefully pay our bills and not get in credit trouble. But nobody ever teaches us how to take care of our own parents when they need help. We all learn that on our own. Both of my parents passed away. I lived with each of them separately as they were in hospice, went through that experience. I know many people here have personal experiences like that. Aging in place is such a private matter within a family. You want your parents to age with dignity, and independence is so important. I see this as simply allowing a kitchen in your own home where you can bring a parent in to take care of them, or bring in a caretaker, and they can live in the house with you and have the independence of their own kitchen. Or grandmother can continue to bake her cookies in a full kitchen well into her 80s and 90s. The point is that we allow by right now, kitchenettes. By right, you can have a kitchenette. You do not need a special use permit. You don't even need, I think it's just a building permit is all you need. And we see a lot of these around town. We're only talking about allowing a fully functional kitchen by right. It's not much of a difference. The other thing I want to point out is this idea of LLCs, and there's a terrible misunderstanding about LLCs. An LLC is a form of ownership that, how can I say this? If you're in business renting properties to tenants, and it's an LLC, you are not going to give your tenants a share of ownership in your company. It's preposterous. It implicates IRS tax filings. It implicates a lot of things that nobody's going to give up a piece of their business to a tenant just so they can have an ADU, a tenant living with them. It doesn't make any sense. I've got a couple other notes, and I'll just wrap it up pretty quickly. But the idea here is to preserve family wealth and generational ownership of homes. It actually promotes, I believe, home ownership. The owner residency requirement completely eliminates the absentee landlord problem. And as I look at it, if we can help a few people age in place, just a few, it's worth doing. We have a real estate tax exemption program for the elderly and disabled here in Fredericksburg that my predecessor, Mr. Withers, championed. I have a great deal of respect for him and that program. It doesn't help many senior people, but the people it does help, it's so important to them. I see this ADU compromise as doing a similar thing. It's not going to help many people. But if it's an opportunity to do the right thing, I believe strongly it's the right thing, we should do it. Let's see, what else do I have here? LLCs aren't nefarious. If you want to rent out a room in your own home, it makes sense to retitle your home into an LLC because it will give you some liability protection if your tenant should slip and fall going up and down the stairs. It's very common to title property in an LLC, especially if you're renting out a room. It's not nefarious. So with that said, I hope you all who are opposed to ADUs will reconsider. I do believe it's the right, humane thing to do. Oh, one more thing. Virginia is a strong property rights state, and I'm just shocked at how much people are willing to let the government control these highly personal decisions. That's all.
Thank you. We have the motion. Madam Clerk, will you read the motion?
Second read, amending the Unified Development Ordinance, Section 72-84, definition in Article 72-4, use standards to establish regulations governing the use of accessory dwelling units, version 2, interior only.
Thank you. I voted against this on the first read. I will be consistent with my vote. I thank you, Mr. Gerlach, for your passionate support of the strongest argument to be made for regulating ADUs. I'll also mention that, as has been mentioned by some members of the audience who spoke, we have lots of ADUs existing that really aren't causing a problem. So I've really struggled with this, but I can't support it at this time. So if there is no more discussion, we will call for the vote. Mine is not showing up like it's supposed to. I'm hitting the red button.
You're on there. You're
Huh?
on there. You're
I
good.
am on there?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh.
There you go. Motion fails 3-3.